Have you ever just wished you could learn faster? Really understand things on a deeper level and master new skills, but on your own time? Well, guess what? We are living through a massive, revolutionary shift in self-education, and it's all being fueled by tools that are more powerful than anything we've ever seen. So let's dive in and explore how they're completely changing the game.
It's true. The ability to teach yourself pretty much anything has always been the mark of geniuses and innovators throughout history. It's a skill that's absolutely timeless. But the instruments we use to do it, well, they are going through a huge transformation. What used to be limited to dusty old books and late-night cram sessions is now becoming something way more dynamic, way more alive.
Just think about the major shifts in history, right? The printing press literally put knowledge into people's hands for the first time. Then the internet came along and collapsed distance, putting all of that knowledge just a click away. And now AI is stepping onto the stage as the next great leap, and it's fundamentally changing the relationship between a person and the knowledge they're trying to find.
And really, this is the big question we're tackling here. What if that initial spark of interest, what's that about? What if it didn't have to fizzle out in a huge sea of confusing articles and dense textbooks? What if you had a system to go from "what is this" to "oh, I get this" faster and more effectively than ever before? Well, that's exactly the promise we're exploring.
Okay, so let's start by looking at what makes this new approach a genuine superpower. We're going to put the old way of learning side by side with the new, AI-augmented way.
So the huge shift we're seeing is from passive learning to active learning. You know the old way, right? It was usually just reading your notes over and over, trying to memorize facts. It's kind of like a one-way street. But the new way? It's a two-way conversation. You're not just consuming information anymore, you are actively engaging with a system that's designed to teach you, to question you, and to give you instant feedback. And that active engagement, that is the absolute key to making knowledge actually stick. To really get this new way of learning, you have to realize we're not just talking about some simple question and answer chatbot. No way. The tools that are popping up now are specialized. They play different roles to create a whole learning environment. So let's meet a few of them.
First up, we have the Socratic Tutor. And honestly, this is a total game changer. Instead of just spitting out the solution to your problem, this kind of AI thinks something like ChatGPT's Learn mode. It prompts you. It asks you questions that force you to think through the problem yourself. See, the goal isn't just getting the right answer, it's about understanding the process to get there. And this little comparison right here shows the two philosophies perfectly. A standard AI might just give you the answer straight up. I mean, it's useful in a pinch, but you haven't really learned anything. The Socratic Tutor, on the other hand, it guides you to solve it yourself by asking, okay, what's the first step here? It gently corrects you if you go wrong and really helps lock in the concept. Next up, imagine having a research assistant that has read every single one of your course notes, your textbooks, all the articles you've saved. Well, tools like Google's NotebookLM do exactly that. You just upload your materials and bam, it becomes a personalized expert that can answer super detailed questions, create study guides, and find connections across all of your documents. And it's all grounded in your information. And this is where it starts to feel really futuristic. The embedded coach. This is something you'd find in new AI browsers like Comet, and it's basically an assistant that lives right there on the web page with you. It doesn't matter if you're looking at a course video, a technical diagram, or a really dense article. The AI is right there in real time, and it can summarize, explain, or answer questions about what you're seeing without you ever having to switch tabs.
Okay, so we've got these incredibly powerful new tutors. But let's be real, tools are only as effective as the system you use them in. That's why having a playbook is absolutely essential. So let's walk through how to build a practical system for real mastery.
This is a simple but super powerful 5-step playbook. It starts with defining your goal. You got to tell the AI what you want to master. Then you engage daily, even if it's just for 20 or 30 minutes, to build that momentum. As you're learning, you capture the key insights in a digital notebook. Then comes the most critical step, restating what you've learned in your own words. And finally, you close the loop by running a feedback loop, asking the AI to critique your understanding.
Now, inside that playbook, there's one technique that just stands out for how crazy effective it is. It's called teach-back journaling. This is where you summarize everything you learned for the week, but you do it in your own words as if you were trying to teach it to somebody else. This forces you to organize your thoughts and really confront what you don't fully understand yet.
And this is the magic prompt that makes the whole feedback loop work. After you've written your summary, you feed it back to your AI tutor with this exact command. It'll then analyze your explanation and pinpoint the exact gaps or misconceptions in your thinking. This whole cycle, capture, restate, critique, is pure gold for making knowledge stick.
So, this isn't just some theory, right? This system is being used right now across an incredible range of fields. Let's look at some real concrete examples of this playbook in action.
What's amazing is how versatile this approach is. For programmers, it can become an interactive guide that walks you through complex code. For language learners, it's like having an infinitely patient conversation partner. For anyone prepping for a big professional exam, it's a quiz generator that never runs out of questions. Even for creative skills like writing, it can give you prompts and exercises to keep you sharp.
Let's get really specific with a tough one: studying for the bar exam. I mean, this is less about simple facts and way more about nuanced legal concepts. We'll use the topic of the difference between bilateral and unilateral contracts.
So in a typical exchange, a student might give a kind of vague, partially correct answer. But instead of just saying wrong, the AI tutor refines their understanding. It provides a simple memory trick, by for both, and then immediately jumps to a practical quiz to lock in the concept. This is active, adaptive learning in its purest form. It's so much more effective than just rereading your notes for the 10th time.
All right, now let's look ahead to what might just be the most disruptive application of all. This is what happens when your personal tutor isn't in a separate app, but is embedded directly into your browser, seeing everything that you're seeing.
This is where the real power comes in. Imagine you're on a course page with a long video and you just don't have time to watch the whole thing. You can ask your embedded AI, what's the most important part of this and where in the video should I watch? The AI can analyze the entire transcript and give you the key takeaways with exact timestamps. We're talking about hyper-efficiency here.
This quote just nails the essence of this transformation. The barrier to getting expert, personalized guidance is just collapsing. For any subject you can possibly imagine, a patient, adaptive tutor is now available on demand, ready to guide you at your own pace.
And that leaves us with a final, really thought-provoking question. When access to personalized instruction is no longer a bottleneck, the whole focus shifts. It becomes less about just memorizing information and more about asking the right questions, thinking critically, and applying knowledge in new ways. The future of learning isn't about what you know, but really how well you can learn.